Hello guys, my name is Guillaume and here are 5 tips for a better practice at home. I hope you're all good and safe out there. I realize that some of you are about to spend some more time inside than usual, so go pick up your guitar and let's make the best out of that situation. Tip number 1, warm up. Quite literally, and this is not a bad joke, go wash your hands. This is actually really good for your muscles. This is really good to relax your hands and your fingers, and also really good for your instrument and your strings. Once you're done with that, don't jump straight away into double hand tapping, sweep arpeggios from hell, but maybe try and get your fingers in the right mindset. You can do some runs such as this one, 4 frets per string, and every time you skip a string, skip a fret. Without the failing. You can do that for a couple minutes, get your right hand, left hand coordination on point, and then get into practicing. Tip number 2 is probably the most important and is set goals. When you start playing, when you start practicing your instrument, don't go into a 4-hour-long jam without any idea or purpose as to what that's going to help with. Don't get me wrong, nothing wrong with jams, do that as much as you can. But when you want to practice something, maybe set short and realistic goals as to what you're going to do. The best example that I have right now is what I'm doing with Hit the Tone. I know I'm going to be shooting more episodes in 3 weeks, and teaser, I'm gonna have to learn Cliffs of Dover, I'm gonna have to learn Money for Nothing, among other songs. So like, I know within the next 2 weeks I need to work on this part of this song, and once I've nailed that, go on to the next part and the next part. It really helps you keep track of your own progress, helps you stay focused on the one thing you're doing, just progressively building your way up to this. So when you start practicing, know where you want to go with your practice. I think that's really important. Tip number 3 is use a strap, and that is valid for 2 good reasons. The first reason is health. Quite simply, if you're going to practice your instrument for hours while sitting down, it's putting a lot of stress on your shoulders, on your back, on your legs. Just all in all, it's not really good for you. While if you're using a strap and stand up, you're going to move around, stretch, maybe, play a bit with the song, and just end up feeling a lot better by the end of it. And reason number 2 as to why using a strap is good for you kind of applies to a certain population only, but if you are a gigging musician, or if you're planning on gigging, and gigging standing up, obviously I'm not talking about orchestra playing or, but if you have a gig and if you have to stand up, practicing while standing up will make a world of difference, because you can sit down and practice your song and absolutely nail them. But then you stand up and everything's different. Your wrist position, your arm position, maybe you're not sure if you should wear your guitar here, or just, it all depends. And the best way to figure this out is to practice with this. So again, highly recommend this. Tip number 4 is do not lose the groove. What I mean by that is if you're going to spend some time inside practicing by yourself without any other musicians, it's pretty easy to lose track of what it is to play with a drummer, bass player, keyboard player. So it's really important when you do that and practice on your own that you use either a click, a metronome, to keep your time straight. A good thing to do is also use looper pedals, because that keeps you in check with a certain frame and keeps you playing in relation to something. You're not just doing runs of crazy guitar leads out of nowhere, but you're playing to something, and that's really important. And a last really good thing to do with that is just to use backing tracks. We use elevated jam tracks a lot here for our intros and everything. They're really, really good, really well produced, and it just helps you play in a musical context. It's something that you should definitely not forget while practicing on your own, so highly recommend that. And tip number 5 is be creative. It's easy to fall into the same routine and kind of get bored of practicing your instrument and always practicing the same thing. What I mean by be creative is if you have the opportunity to practice more often or just longer than usual, take that opportunity to try out new things. Try new styles of music, new styles of playing. If you're a rock and roll, hard rock, pure fan, maybe try and dive into some jazzy chords. See how that goes. If you're just doing shred and leads, maybe some slide playing and so some finger picking in there. Even if you don't stick to it, even if it's not the end game, adding these bits of new novelty to your playing will only add up to it, will make you a better musician, a more versatile musician, and just more comfortable all across the instrument. So be creative. And that's it. Please keep in mind that this is not a bullet point of things that you have to do every single time you practice. But maybe you just realize you're lacking a bit of this, lacking a bit of that, and hopefully one of these ideas will help you out. There's obviously a lot more you can do, a lot more that I haven't covered here. Maybe you guys do it completely differently. If so, please let me know in the comment section. I'm really interested in knowing about this. While you're down there, you can consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah, in the meantime, be well, be safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you very, very soon.